I stole this script, and we're going to explore what is inside this piece of paper. Okay, so this is basically a solution to the AI version of Magic Max in DaVinci Resolve. You notice that once you have already tracked your subject and you later on edit something on that particular subject, on that particular clip, you're going to lose the whole Magic Max information or the whole tracked information. And how do we stop this from happening to our edit? From this particular piece of paper says we should import our clip, which we have done here. If we look at here, we have imported our clip. Okay, this is the clip, and I've added it already to my editing timeline. So the next one says go straight and use Magic Max in the color tab. So we're heading to the color tab, go to the color tab, and here we have the nodes. So it says go straight to Magic Max, use the Magic Max in the color tab. Okay, I'm going to use this particular first node. I'm going to go to the mask place. Okay, here is AI Magic Mask. Click on it and it works like dots. So I'm going to select the particular my subject is a blue dot is going to appear. Then I'm going to toggle on this particular thing that is here. It's called a mask overlay. So I'm waiting for it to load here. Toggle mask overlay. So I'm going to toggle it on, and the whole place I've selected, that is the particular subject or objects I've selected, is going to appear like as if something like red highlight. So I'm going to track forward and backward on this particular clip. Track forward and backward. Okay, so the Magic Max is already done. So you can see that our subject is highlighted with red. If I should go through, you will notice that there are some places where it seems like the Magic Max didn't capture our subject that well from the maxed overlay. Okay, it captured everything, so we are good. You should connect the blue dot to the green dot output. So this particular blue dot here, we're going to connect it to the green dot output. So disconnect this one, double click to disconnect, then connect this blue one to this green one. So after connecting, go and toggle off the max overlay. That is toggle max overlay. We're going to get a white background. Now I want to say something. If I toggle it back on, you will notice that at this particular place, I'm not going to do it perfect. I'm just trying to show you how to retain your mask. So if you are working on your own and you want to make it perfect, you're going to add extra dots here, okay, and track that particular dot to include this black should I say armband or armlet, something like that. Okay, so I'm going to work with this one. Now I'm going to toggle off the max overlay. So we'll have white background, which is our subject, and the dark part is the background. Okay, so after connecting the blue dot to the green dot output, it says go to the edit page and render the mask. So I'm going to go back to the edit page. To this edit page, this is the mask. So I'm going to render the particular clip. So I'll go to render in place. Okay, which setting are we going to use? It did not say any setting, so normally we're going to just render at I'm going to call it Magic Mask, and inside the QuickTime I'm going to change it to MP4, and leave other settings the way they are, and click render. It's gonna ask you where do you want to render this. I'm going to choose to my downloads, select folder. It's gonna render. It has rendered. Okay. I'm seeing another thing here. You said duplicate the max clip and place on top, then right click and decompose the top clip to original. So it says duplicate. I'll select this and move to the top. So after moving to the top, I'm going to right click. Okay, so I'm going to right click here and say decompose to original. It's gonna bring it back to that original clip that it is. After decomposing to original clip, switch to color page. You can see and reset node for the decomposed clip. So we're going to reset this node for the decomposed clip. Then come here and say reset all grades. In fact, so we're going to get back to our original image. Then the next thing is go back to the edit page and create compound clip with the decomposed clip and name it with something you can remember. So right click on it and say new compound clip. I'm going to call it Magic Max. Let me just put O as original. The next thing is go to the media pool and rename the rendered mask to something similar to the compound clip. So both of them have something similar. This particular one, this is the Magic Max O, Magic Max. Drag the rendered mask into node area. So I'm going to the color page, which is here, and in the color page, do we have media pool? You can see media pool here. So in the color page now, this is the rendered mask. It said drag the rendered mask. So this one that we rendered, drag it into the node area. Disable the media pool icon. Connect the first blue dot, which is this one. I should connect it to where? To the input blue dot of the compound clip. So this is the compound clip. So we're going to connect this one to the input blue dot. You can use the mask invert in the mask tab to invert the color change. We stole this script actually, so we are following. Let me do something. I've added this to here, and you can see that my background removed. If I disable it, the background is there. You can see that the background is there. But if I add this one to this blue dot, that means anything I do to this clip, let me use saturation. Let's say I reduce the saturation to 0, it's going to affect only the subject, that is only our mask. So you can see that this particular saturation is only affecting our mask. So you can see that at this point you can use it to color grade our subject or the masked part. You can change the color. Okay, so here you can decide to make it like this, make it look, you know, something, I don't know, color boost, make it look something like this, or we reset the whole thing and come to I don't know, maybe the curve editor. I'm just showing you the workaround, some things you can do. And maybe if we increase highlight, you see that we're only affecting only our subject. You can see if we reduce, it's only affecting the subject, that is the masked part. So I'm going to reset everything in this color page. Now this is the first part in this particular solution A. Connect the first blue tick to the alpha output. Add alpha output. You can see this blue. Now connect this one now to here. With this now you can see the background is gone. So any edit we make to this thing, we are still going to retain our magic marks. So this is the first part. Also, this video is going to be helpful to me. Anytime I forget this particular method, I can still come back to this video and refresh my mind. If we go over to here to the, let's say, the edit page, you can see that we have the whole thing here. You can see what we have is playing. Now let's go to the B part. What does the B say? This one say, let's take magic marks the right way with two different. Okay, so this is option B. So I'm going to reset this clip. So I'm going to delete this particular one, X. So to this one now we only have the background. So you can see after I deleted this, still on that first one, if you want it to be like this, like you want to export without background, like you want it to be transparent background, this is how you do it. So you just go and render in place. But if you're rendering, use QuickTime, okay, and ProRes. You know, that is how we do it. I'm going to also show you in a new video how to export your footage without background in DaVinci Resolve. Okay, so we're going to the next part, and in this one I'm going to reset whatever that is here. So let me move to color page and reset whatever that is here. I'm going to click reset all grades. Everything is going to move out. So now we have just this. So the name is Magic Max 0, which is this particular one, and it does not have this, the original clip. Now what do we do in the option B? In the option B it says ensure that the clip resolution and the timeline resolution are the same. Both of them are the same. Okay, so what I'm using here, this clip resolution is 1080p by 1920p, and if I go to my shift 9 to go to my project settings, you can see that I'm using vertical resolution of 1080 by 1920 HD. So the timeline resolution and the clip resolution are the same. So the next thing we're going to do is duplicate the clip, select the upper clip and move to color page. So I'm going to duplicate this clip. So this is the upper clip. Okay, so I'm going to move to the color page. That's the instruction that is here. So we have moved to the color page now, and it says select the upper clip and move to color page, then select the object to mask and track. So we're going to select this object, this particular object now. So I'm going to go to magic marks. This is magic marks. I'm going to pick the this thing. I'm going to select the object again, then make sure you toggle on mask overlay, okay, so that we can see what we have selected. I'm going to toggle on mask overlay. So we have seen what we selected. I'm going to hit track forward and backward. It's gonna track forward and return backward. Okay, so while we wait for it to track forward and backward, let us still look at the next thing we need to do. So after tracking forward and backward, the next thing is to connect the blue dot icon, the blue dot on the node, to the green dot output. Okay, our tracking is almost ready. Okay, so our tracking is done and we are ready. All right, the next step we need to take says connect the blue dot color to the green dot output, right? Okay, output, then come back to edit page. So we're going back to edit page now. We are in edit page, and in the edit page it says render the max. So I'm going to render this one. Click render in place. So I'm going to call it Magic Max 2 because this particular one is the second option, that is option B. Select. It's going to ask me where I want to render. I'm going to render it in my downloads. So wait for it to render. It has rendered finish. So the next thing is duplicate the underneath clip and move it above the mask. So it means we should duplicate this particular one and move it above this mask. So you see here now, you can add Gaussian blur to the white mask to modify the edges. Okay, Gaussian blur. So let's add Gaussian blur. Go to effects, then go to open effects. This Gaussian blur, add it to, let me disable this so I can see the mask. So without let's see this mask without the Gaussian blur. Without the Gaussian blur, it's looking like this. With the Gaussian blur, it's looking like this. I'm just going to move my slider a bit. Something like this is okay. Go back to here to turn it on back. Okay, so it says now to the first clip, change the composite mode to foreground. So this is the composite mode of the first clip. It says we should change it to foreground. So move down to, this is foreground. Nothing is still happening. Nothing is happening. So and to the white mask, which is the magic mask, the second clip, change composite mode to luma. So in this one, we're going to change composite mode to loom. This is loom. This is the luma. So once we change to luma, what is happening? Nothing is happening. Then let's disable the ground clip and see. One. See it? So if we disable this ground clip, we still have our background. So if we play through, whatsoever we do to this clip is going to remain like this because we've already saved our tracked information. Okay, so this thing is very useful. Let's say move the two up. You can add text in between these and you're going to get something that is looking like this. Let me add text here and enter here. I'm just going to, let me type productive tech, or let me just type productive tech, kind of like pull this one down. All right, so the alignment I want, bottom, the anchor, I don't know, everything is good. So let me see, increase the size. So if we increase the size, we'll be getting this. You can see I've added text. Then in the to work on the y and x this thing, we can use this, and inside here we can put it this way, like this. Then we're going to enable the other clip. So you can see that we have put text behind the character. You can see what we have now. Text is behind the character now. So this is how to achieve, or this is how to work with magic marks in DaVinci Resolve. If you are a first-time viewer to this channel, what we talk about in this channel is all about productivity, and you can do well to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell icon so that once I drop a new video, you're going to be notified. Okay, so drop your comments in the comment section. Okay, if you like this particular method. This might sound like a bug to you, for those of you that are using DaVinci and some of you that are not using, but will see that yes, Premiere Pro or Adobe, other editing softwares have a way of you retaining your tracked or maxed information without actually tampering with it whenever you are editing or adding new edits to that particular clip after the masking. But in DaVinci Resolve, fortunately, this is how to do it for now till otherwise. Okay, so good and glad to have you. See you next time on this channel. Peace.